Okay, now we're about to cut a female shirt with 3/4 sleeves. So, and it also has a princess dart. So this is what we are going to do, and just watch how I'm going to do it. It's the same way we have cut the other female shirt with that, it's just that there are 1 or 2 moderations on it. So let me start. This is the back pattern, so you can watch how I'm doing it. The neck is still the same way. The back, this is the back, and the back width is 2.25, and then the length is 1.25. so I've already done that. So then the shoulder is 14 divided by 2, that is 7 inches, then with ½ inch sewing allowance. Make sure you watch the previous video on how to cut female shirt with that. I've already explained all these things there. Then you can also get the workbook. All the explanations are inside the workbook too. Then I lower it with 0.75. I'm going to rule that to the base of the neck. Then another 0.5 for the sewing allowance. I represent that with broken lines. Okay, that's that. So I have a straight line here. Okay, now the next thing, now we've done the neck, we've done the shoulder. The armhole is 14 divided by 2, that is 7 again. So down here I have 7. Then I rule a line across that, which is going to be my bust line. Okay, so then the bust is 38 divided by 4, that's 9.5. This is 9.5. Then you know, I say if it is me, because I already know I use just ½ inch sewing allowance, but because we are starters, I said we should use 1 inch sewing allowance. Now because of the princess cut again, you had additional ½ inch, because by the time you made that princess cut, the cloth would have come together, it would have reduced in size. So we need to make another 0.5 inch sewing allowance. So that's that about the bust line. Then I took I'm taking the half length down. Half length is 15.5 here, and then the full length is 27 inches, then 1 inch for the hemline. So that's that. So across the half length, I'm going to rule a line. Across the hem line too, I'm going to rule a line, 2 lines precisely, 1 for the hip line and then for the hem line. So I have that one. Then I'm coming to the waist now. Waist is 34 divided by 4, that's 8.5. Then for 1 inch that, which will cover the princess cut, then 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I'm coming to the hip line. Hip is 40 divided by 4, that's 10. Then plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance. So that's that. Now I'm going to connect the lines now. Then okay, I think I also need to make the curve. Remember I made the curve, I measured 2 inches here, I measured 1.5 inches, so I was able to draw a curve there. So all right, so that is that about. Now how do I make the princess cut? I'm coming to the waistline. Waist is 8.5, 34 divided by 4, which is the waistline. Then I'm adding 1 inch 8.5 plus 1 inch, that makes 9.5. So I'm dividing it by 2. 9.5 divided by 2, that will give you 4 3/4. So I'm going to measure 4 3/4 here, measure 4 3/4 on the bust line too, and then on the hip line measure the 4 3/4 here to measure the 4 3/4. Then I will join it with a line. That's actually the midpoint now of the shirt. You know, the same way your dart is centralized, that is the same way your princess cut too will be centralized. Okay, now I'm coming to the armhole. Now I've done that. I'm coming to the armhole. From the sewing base of the sewing allowance, you can measure 3.5 down. Now That's more or less the standard, but because this is a smaller sized armhole, the armhole is just 14, which is small, I'm going to use 3 inches. I'm going to use 3 inches. So I need to connect this place with here. So I'm just going to connect it. That is that. So then when I connect it, you can see that I made 1 inch extension. This is where the line is. Then I made 1 inch extension from there. It's because, yes, I need to extend that, because extend here too with 1 inch, extend here too with 1 inch. The reason is because by the time you join this one with this one, if it is not extended, it will be shorter. So you need to create an allowance for that, so it's not short, so it won't be short. So we have an extension of 1 inch there. So this is just what you need for your princess cut. I'm going to cut it now, and I will show you how to cut it. So from the neckline, watch the way I'm cutting. You can see that I'm still cutting it straight. Then one thing about this princess cut is that after joining all the front sides and the back sides, you will still need to position your front pattern together and your back pattern and reshape the armhole. So that's not the final shape. You need to reshape the armhole. Alright, so you still need to do a reshaping. Okay, so here now, if you want to cut the princess, watch the way I'm going to cut it. Make sure you don't finish cutting it. Don't cut it finish. You see like that. Don't cut it finish, so you can know the one you are joining with each other. Okay, so that's that. We are going to use this to cut the front pattern now.